Gonna flap until I fly against the earth. Mother sick against the ground. I'm gonna kick. It's not what you got, it's what you give.
If anybody can get that song, I don't think anybody will. Shout out to Hemi, Phoenix, Jerron Markel, R.O. Singletown Bachelor just went live today. Good stuff. Hennock is back. BJ, Brandon Trueblood, the infamous Brandon Trueblood, Mysterio from Winnipeg. Good to see everyone. Stephen from Arizona. Good to see everybody. Today was a great day. Got up. My parents stayed the night with me last night because there is a wedding in my family this weekend. My niece is getting married. I didn't really want to go, but I'm taking the boys because they will see their cousins and they'll see their aunts and uncles. Everybody will be there except my younger brother, who's retarded socially. And he's made horrible decisions by marrying two single mothers and going through two single divorces. Anyhow, I mean, it'd be fine to see him, but he's still in town. Good to see Betty. Well said. Well said. So, did some workout, went to the gym, had some weights, and then came back, did some work. It's a holiday weekend for us gringos, and I know, but they're very religious, so who knows? I mean, my stance on marriage. And then I rode my bike about an hour ago. I wanted to it's just an exceptional day. And I cleaned the house after my parents left. Good to see them. They're 78 and 77. Mom's walking slower. Her knees are not good, but, she's doing good in the sense that she's got software's probably a few versions behind. My dad was doing great, so it was good to see them. Much appreciation for them later in life, as I really didn't have when I was a teenager and thought I knew everything. But we all get there, boys. And those boys that you have, if you have boys of your own, eventually they'll get there. No marriage, no cohabitation, no kids. But anyhow, I was thinking today, writing, every man should go to a graveyard. Go to a cemetery, walk it. You have relatives, go walk it. And I would say going to a cemetery when I was 25, burying a friend of mine that took himself out. Good to see you, David. Is much different than it is today, 27 years later, age 52. I don't know about the guys that have hit like 45 and over, maybe 50 and over. I don't really think about the demise. I think about what I can maximize in the remainder of my life. The shit I don't have to deal with anymore, which would be ladies, marriage. My kids are all grown. No more custody issues, no more alienation because we can reach out. and spend those last 30 plus years doing the things that bring me peace, quiet, and happiness. Spent the night shooting with night vision and planting freedom seeds. Attaboy. Single town bachelor, no cohabitation. Wish more men understood this. Phoenix, I tried to talk to my brother about his girlfriend who is a known prostitute who literally took him to a hotel room, locked him out, and sold her. Jeez. Some guys will never learn, brothers, even your own flesh and blood. Polsky, go to the cemetery a couple times a year on the day Patrick died on his birthday. Has been gone 13 years now. Rest in peace to your brother Patrick. I know you've talked about him before. Too young to have gone so early. He said she treats him like a king. If that's a king treatment, I'd rather be a peasant. Saunders is back. Good to see you, brother. I have. I'm going to do a live with Gone with John tomorrow. We're going to talk about kids. Be on that show tomorrow, Father, because you can definitely contribute. Gibson, child support tripled. He was crying on camera. One child only, and child support is Jeez. Single town bachelor. Rowdy, you have time to yourself at 57. I can testify to that. Well said, brother. So I think when I visit my grandfather that passed away, but I go to those I was thinking today, go to that graveyard, respect the fallen, respect those that have passed. And I wonder about those men that have passed. I like to look at I like to look at really old ones, like in the late 1800s. There's some that are 1850, 150, 170 years ago lived. Wonder what their life was like. I'm sure a lot of them died of natural causes. They worked their asses off. There was nothing good in terms of technology. They sweat by their brow, and they probably died an early death, or they got some weird disease with no medicine. Can you actually go to a cemetery and walk around, even if yeah, absolutely. They're open. Which age range of women do you think is in great shape and not seems like 50-something going to the gym is not a mindset for them? I've seen some decent 50-year-olds that are toned, but who knows what's below the hood? You know what I mean? Go to a veteran cemetery, amazing men who gave their lives. Absolutely. Absolutely, Stephen. Rusty's back. Good to see you. $25K a month in child support. Crazy stuff. But, as I'm walking, I'm thinking to myself, what about the latest men? What about the men in the last that died, 70, 80 years old? They went through technology. They went through the 60s, the 70s when Reagan passed a divorce. Were they divorced? Did they have challenges? Did they sacrifice themselves for the benefit of their families and their kids? I'm sure I would say 90% did. Did some take themselves out? Absolutely. Or died of natural causes because they just gave up living. Most men today are living a life of quiet desperation. Most men are just existing. They're not living. I want that to sink in. Funerals are for the living, but cemeteries are good places to talk to the dead. They never answer, but they're great listeners. Well said. I mean, yeah, I feel calm there. I'm myself am going to be cremated. I get creeped out by just being in a box, but that's just me. My kids know where to spread me around. Many men will go to the grave trying to impress a woman. X-Mask Pro. Well said, brother. Good to see you. I love to visit old cemeteries in the USA. The oldest grave I saw was around 1755. Dang. Going on 270 years. I wonder what the dead males who married for at least 40 to 60 years would say about marriage. Different time back then, Mysterio. Different time. I saw a video today where a woman is getting $2,000 in child support and sitting on her keister. Great judge in that regards. But go to that next time you see a graveyard or you visit one or you pass by one, maybe you're driving. Think about not the time you have left, but the time you have left to maximize life. What we've come out of, all of the bullshit, all of the difficult circumstances of dealing with toxic kids, toxic ex-wives, toxic wives, divorce, everything that you can think of, right? And think about that kind of stuff. And think what you could do differently, right? What can you do differently? And that's kind of where my mindset's been. RW, good to see you. What can I do different with the remaining time I have left? Because I don't have 52 years left. I'm not halfway. I'm 65%. Old cemeteries, for the reason we don't deliver to the grave sites, the marker stones are worn. Ah, gotcha. You do flowers. Gotcha, brother. But just understanding the thought process of what we have left to live, I think, is a powerful impact of when one visits a cemetery. I try to see my grandfather twice a year and my uncle who passed away before my grandfather. And I just go in and just sit calmly and silent and tell them, hope they're doing well. I know they can't hear me, as Brandon Trueblood says, but at least I'm there and paying my respects. But at the same time, I think to myself, you know what? I don't want to go to an early grave. And an early grave can be in our own control. Whether we take good care of, if we don't take good care of ourselves, we're going to hit an early grave. If we get addicted to certain substances of life, if we lay with the wrong person, if that was what men do, could contract a potentially dangerous disease. One could be deleted by another person. So there are a lot of factors we take into consideration. My wife tries to pull this trick on me about the child support. I would go on disability. Unfortunately, here, the judge will look at what you used to make and he'll put it towards any future potential. If you made $100,000 last year, he's going to expect you to make that the rest of, regardless if you're in a wheelchair. I mean, she has made a wheelchair-bound man homeless and left penniless. What she wants from me, I take care of my sons better than her. Yeah, I hear you, brother. We've all been there. I want to have a push button on my gravestone when someone presses it, appear on a monitor and say some horrendous. You know what they have? They have little barcodes that you can scan now to see who's in that, who's buried there. Little history. If you could go back to your past in the early years of marriage, would you take your ex and you for a divorce proceeding case just to say, I hope we don't? That would be probably, Mysterio, a good idea. But women are emotional, so it wouldn't really matter, the logic and facts in the case. Betty Saab, you wish to be buried? I'm getting cremated. I've already created my will. Now, I cremated in the event that something could happen and my sisters and my brother and my kids know what to do. I think you should prepare for that so there's not a shit show after the fact. Or something, your plane crashes or, I get hit by lightning or something. Or a rattlesnake bites me and I can't make it out. Never forget, death isn't a possibility. It's an inevitability. Well said, we can prevent it for as long as we can. However, we all meet the same and live like, absolutely. Yeah, eventually our time will come, whether we've taken care of ourselves, whether we haven't. Good to see JR. Justin's in the house. Good to see you. Explain the cemetery. The cemetery is just a reminder of what we can have and what we can't have. It's a reminder for us to maximize our lives. It's a reminder for us to not enter quicksand. Quicksand could be a relationship, a bad job, a living situation. It could be being bamboozled again by a woman. It could be, all sorts of things. And so as I get older, life becomes more interesting, richer, and I'm in a good situation. Well, a lot of guys are. My kids are grown. There's no debt. I don't talk to the ex. There's nothing. There's no more court. There's none of that shit. And now I've got my house for sale and it's off to the races. A lot of guys don't have that. They're still dealing with child support or ex-wives, emotions, all that shit. So I get it. It took me a while to get there. I was in that situation for 10 years. You're right about that, but judge cannot deny if by medical. Yeah, I guess if you get your doctor involved, that would be good, brother. Happy birthday to JR too. 28. Don't the courts look at man's expenses? They look at what a man has the potential of earning. And they look at what her potential. Most women here are basically under the Duluth model. Most of them can get a minimum wage job. A minimum wage pays $15 to $20 an hour, which is $30,000 a year. So if the guy makes 100 and she's able to make 30, then the delta of child support would be 70,000 based on the visitation, 80-20, 60-40, 50-50. It's all a big calculator. The only things guaranteed, death and taxes, says Benjamin Franklin, inventor of electricity. Yeah, I mean, that's the reality. Go walk through it. Be encouraged that you are alive, that you have more to go accomplish in life, and spend the remainder of your life, if you can, out of any situation that doesn't bring peace, quiet, and freedom. And we know the top three: no marriage, no cohabitation, and kids. Now, if you're married or have kids or cohabitating, you're going to have challenges of peace, quiet, and freedom. I'm not saying what to do. I'm saying if you're not there, we don't recommend that. Baby metal rules. But anything that can bring peace, quiet, and freedom and experiences. Minimalism is the way of living. Minimalism, less is more, will bring you more happiness than more of more. If your ex-mother-in-law passed, or she would, no, I would not. No, I have decided that they are toxic as well. They contributed to the downfall of some, even my kids. I prefer cremation or compost. No way. I do want to be a wax figure in a box. Cremate me. You know, there's like 7 different funerals that you can do. Actually, you can send yourself into space. There's a way to do that. You can be buried in the ocean. You can have literally a ocean burial. You can be there is somewhere in Florida you can have yourself cremated, and then during the cremation process you can become a fertile environment for sea urchins and sea wildlife on the rocks. So you can actually be a catalyst. You can be buried in a graveyard with no boxes. There is a graveyard, I believe, I think there's 2 of them in Georgia and Tennessee, where there's no graves. You just dig a hole and you put yourself in there, totally organic. You go back to the earth. I believe there is you can obviously be cryo frozen. They cut your head off and wait till 10,000 years and you come back as a cyborg. Let's see what else. There's fascinating ones that you can do. You can be buried in your own backyard if you get a permit. Now it's pretty difficult to get a permit if you're an HOA, but say on a farm or whatnot. In fact, Vanilla Ice talks about this. If you can get a plot of land which allows your own burial of yourself or a loved one, that land is now considered tax-free. Go think about that. You do not have to pay taxes on that land if you have a permit to bury a loved one. I firmly believe we don't go anywhere. We're just atoms and energy. Well said. I'm a huge believer that our form will somehow filter into a different form. If a man thinks he is unlucky, he should understand that being born as the apex predator of this planet, the top of the food chain, it's like winning the lottery of natural selection. There you go. Rumor is almost all 50 states, if you're buried on your home property, the home is tax-free for life. Yes. Yes. And Vanilla Ice, smart guy with money, he talks about that. I'd like to be cremated as well. I love the Tannerite idea. There you go, JW. Rad the cyborg. I don't want to be one of these guys that lives forever. Seriously, these guys, I want to live forever. The guy from Google, the sci-fi guy, Ray Kurzweil, I think his name, that one guy that's he's like 48, trying to look all young. He spends $2 million. Who cares? It's all in your head anyways. So a parachute going out, an airplane will deploy, or the second chute is guaranteed over the longevity of today's modern couple. Pretty much. Now I'll give you a story real quick. I would put my head only in cryonics in case there's a revival. Oh, can you imagine that? Big Chris is in the house. If I go back knowing what I know, I would come out of the crouch monk mode and I would be a multi-billionaire. Money allows people to arrive to their problems in style and give you FU money. I'd rather get married. Yeah, you can. It's a law. It's a law. I think it's somewhere written. Maybe it's in the Constitution or something like that, but or an amendment. So I'm talking to my dad last night. My dad's 77, and we buried his father 5 years ago. He was 103 years old in 8 months. He had a hip replacement at 72, and he got diabetes a week before he died. He had no other issues. He had a full head of hair. He looked great and went through 2 wives. So I said, Dad, how did Grandpa live so long? He went through 2 wives. And you know what he told me? He said, I think my dad was scared to die. He was very in shape. He always did calisthenics. Very good example. Jogged. Never had any issues. And he ate like shit. He ate bologna sandwiches every day. World War II vet on a ship in England. He was a Seabee. When they bury me, I hope it's cheap. There you go. Seraphim's in the house. Good to see you. Phoenix says, the waste of $2 million in the hope that he can still attract a female while not Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. So anyhow, my dad said that his father, my grandfather, and it's great because my kids met their great grandfather, and there's pictures of four generations. So he says, I believe my dad was scared to die. He did not want to die. He clung. He was so scared, and he was the last of 16 kids. I think he was the seventh of 16 kids. So all of them died. His mother died at 98. And he just kept saying, my dad was scared to die. And finally, God said, gosh dang it, you're coming with me now. But he lived a great life. He was happy, went through 2 wives. And it's funny, when the second wife died, her name was Gloria, he would sing the Wicked Witch song from Wizard of Oz. He would whistle it. Dun, dun, the witch is dead. My dad, I don't think he liked her. You know, his first wife he loved, my dad's mom, my grandma. But for 30 years he lived as a man. He cut his pecan trees. He grew up in Northern California, outside of Sacramento. He had orange trees. He always read the Bible. He loved the Bible. He'd read it every day, regardless if you're religious or not. That's just what he did. He was early to rise, early to bed, and he lived a very successful life. He quit driving, I think, at 99. By then, his software was out of date. The last time I saw him was 6 months before he died, and he kept saying, are you so-and-so, Tim's son? Uh-huh. Where's your brother? He's out there. Are you so-and-so, Tim's son? But anyhow, wonderful life, and it is what it is. So some people are scared to die. Some people are scared to live. You're going to get buried at sea with a ship anchor. Yeah, I think you need an anchor to get down, Rusty. Joseph Hoffman in the house. Gloria. Gloria was a battle axe. Nobody liked her. I'm only 45 and I'm ready for the next adventure. I've spent 20 years in the war in the Middle East, and God is still teasing me. Man, you have made it through a shit show. There's so many people that have made it. It's like, there's a reason why we're here. Could it be the will to live? Could it be God is, if you believe in God or an infinite intelligence, still wants us here to learn something? I don't understand. I haven't been to a doctor in 25 years. I feel healthy as hell, positive. All of my rates are good. And I just onward and upward. And I see good friends that are very sick at my age. I don't know what it is. And I went through the stress of divorce. Holy shit. The stress and the anxiety, the fear of what a judge could do, that will kill men in seconds if they're not prepared. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was the fact that I was a fighter all the time in my life. I fought for everything I had. You know, I didn't grow up wealthy. In fact, low middle class, if anything. We had to earn our keep. I bought my first car at 14. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just the will to want to always improve, that I always saw that I could get out of anything. And I think I am much healthier now than I was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They'll burn my body with my guitar and spread ashes in the garden. Attaboy, Seraphim. If it turns out that these reincarnations, I'm going to beg them not to send me back here. I never want to return to this evil world. Gerald Montani. It's interesting what happens. We don't know. All these near-death experience videos, it's always about some warm light. It's a lot bright. They don't want to return. They feel this amazing amounts of joy. Who knows? Maybe that's it. Maybe it just turns the light off. But I'm a big believer that somehow, some form or fashion, since we're all atomic, quantum, we have trillions of atoms within us, with 99% of those atoms are space. Somehow something happens. Go watch 21 grams. 21 grams at death. Your body loses 21 grams. So there's something to us. JR, never fallen for the each of us has a purpose here. We're all just passing through, hopefully something greater. Yeah, I would agree with that. When did you choose to be born? I don't remember choosing to be born. I don't remember, I don't remember choosing to come here. I'm here. I grew up a second of 6 kids in the 80s, born in the early 70s. How did I get here? I had to beat out 1 trillion of my brothers to fertilize the egg. I punched that damn egg good, didn't I? I put my head right through that egg, and we made it. A lot of people don't want to come back. Bondo Brian, good to see you. Time catches us all. And what are we using time for? Time is the greatest wealth of all. I got a buddy, he's worth 100 plus million. Good friend of mine. Went to school with him. And he has so many jobs. He's on so many boards of technical companies. He's got so much shit going on. It's like, man, that's not peace, quiet, and freedom. Just saying. He told me he had at one point 28 cars on his insurance bill. And he's like, why do I have so many? There's only 3 drivers. Well, to impress people. Or to buy those childhood dream cars that you wanted. If I wanted my childhood dream car, my favorite car would be a 69 Datsun 510 2-door. I had a 4-door. Or it would be a 37 Lincoln Zephyr. Or a Volkswagen bus from like 1961, a micro, multi-panel bus, combi or something. I believe reincarnation is a scientific possibility, but I would be too pissed. This movie has been good, but I don't want to watch it again. I don't know if we'll watch it in the same way if we come back or if we somehow reincarnate. If I lived a silver spoon life, absolutely. We'd all be different, Mysterio. I think we are a product of our environment, and some of us can improve upon that, and some of us can't. Hey, you. My dad had a near death. He said he was over his body, but he was revived. Interesting. I believe they're real. None of us choose to be born, but all of us have the good fortune to not be aborted by a disgusting baby blank. Well said. I know why you're in good health. You have some angel DNA up there. Well, could be. Could it? Who knows? Who knows? If you think math-wise, it's mind-blowing. Out of all the load you shot down a shower drain, the loads dropped in partners. Then fighting the other swimmers for you to be here is astronomical. Isn't it 1 in 3 trillion chances? So we are rare specimens. Everyone here. Paul Smecker in the house. We are rare. Literally divinely created. I don't know why the West decided to destroy itself. After 250 years, civilizations collapse. They're saying 2034 is the end of this civilization. Some believe it'll break up into 3 different states or regions. Paul, I went live pretty quick. I doubt if you saw it. But that's the reality. What are we going to do with the remainder of life that we have left? Are we going to let the past live rent-free? Now, you can't get away from your past, but you don't have to give it attention, right? There's days, you're not 100% ever healed from what you've gone through. Yeah, I think you're 100% accepting of what you've gone through, but there's times that shit's going to pop up, a memory, a dream. Geez, I've had dreams with the ex quite a bit lately. A memory with your kid and your ex, a memory with the kids, and you're going to have difficulty. But if you can 100% accept it, you can 100% try to get in the right direction. But I don't believe anyone fully heals from it. It's just a big scab that doesn't hurt you anymore. I can't do red pill talk with my married friends. They have a completely different belief system, which is worship her. Well said. Me too. Everything we have been taught about women is wrong. Imagine the primary issue women are voting in the selection is to abort. Yes. I believe it's a massive sickness, unfortunately. Raj, you should be doing a supernatural episode of The Rad Show, like The Twilight Zone. Rod Sterling. Seraphim, thou shalt not simp would be a great way to stay out of the grave early. At the end of the empire, I'm relocating to where all the big dick bearded savages are. Now, I'd like to go time travel back to the medieval ages, the Viking stages, the Romans. Time travel. Trauma can either make or break the man. Well said, JR. A lot of guys are going through trauma, even in the red pill. There's anger, there's rage. I get it. There's red pill rage where I got my brother right now. He's going through red pill rage because he's been through 2 divorces to 2 single baby mamas. And then, that's a stupid decision. I told him not to do either of them. He's got 2 kids that are 20 and 22 and 2 that are 4 and 6. Dumbass. And now he's all about hating on ladies. And I get it. He hates the female form because he's gone through a shit show. He can't see his kids. He's got to pay through his ass. thousands a month. We're talking 4,000 to 5,000 a month he's paying for the next 17 years. That's a lot of dough, right? Father wants to go back in time. I'd get on a time machine 1996. I wouldn't be here though. We wouldn't be chatting today. This would be non-existent. Attractive is everywhere, but successful is rare. Sure. Well, I'm not too sorry, Joseph. He just makes bad decisions. I've told him, try to get him advice. He just doesn't listen. He'll probably marry another single mom because he's one of those guys that needs somebody to feel validated. This is the number one key of Red Pill. It's a philosophy. What brings you peace, quiet, and freedom? You know what? Seeking validation from others and attention does not bring you peace, quiet, and freedom. Hearing a nagging, mouthy, disrespectful voice in your ear all day, every day, doesn't bring you peace, quiet, and freedom. Having multiple debts does not bring you peace, quiet, and freedom. So do all the opposite of that. Women literally will have communism causing untold miseries and deaths, only to blank. It's demonic at another level. Well said. Mochi, good to see you. Vas a limpiar el cobertizo de herramientas. You guys know what he said? JR, one of my favorite Mexicans. That's funny. Is Father going live tonight? Scotty's going to be live at 7, which is 6 o'clock Pacific. Single moms are not worth it. How nice or how much of a hug. They're only good. Well, I did have some fun times in horizontal positions with a couple of them, but other than that, that's all they're good for. Timothy Sokol from California. Good to see you. You know who's down in your area? Timmy Kramer. He's out camping, I believe, in Encinitas or somewhere down there. I think I would be fine to live in the past, considering everything that has been told a lie. Comfort is a drug. Imagine having a family, communities, and going to church. Well, I think a lot of us. Hennick's got the three on the brain, 3 on the tree. Anyone know what a 3 on the tree is? Not sure yet. It is Friday. We'll have to see if you go live. I'll probably be asleep by then. But I think a lot of us would love to go back to Little House on the Prairie days. Sure. Well, it was a hard life then. I mean, they toiled and sweat by their brow all day long, all week long, 7 days a week, living in, very dusty environments. But maybe their women loved them, or they had great respect for one another. No make under 30 will be able to resist no male under 30. The flesh desires. Above might be able to. I don't think above either, Mysterio. It's the guy that gets taken to the cleaners probably gets it. A woman will destroy your life, then blame you when you are broke, destitute on the sidewalk as your only home. I was telling my buddy today, he's such a nice guy. He's married. She doesn't put out. I said, if niceness was an aphrodisiac, she'd be a cage 304 in your house. You'd have to cage her up. She'd want that much more wiener. But it's not. You can't, niceness does not equate. It's crazy. But some guys never learn. Rusty, Jon Snow. Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. The look on Rad's face. Does it look, am I being somber? The harder you love a woman, when she leaves, the harder you fall. I don't believe in love anymore. I believe that once I did. Once I lived, when I believed the fantasy, I believe you can love a person, love their being, but not romantic love. I don't believe in that shit. And loving a person, a parent, a sibling, a friend, is much different because you don't care if it's reciprocated. Where romantic love is you care. And romantic love is just a basic construct of competition. Who can compete more? Who gives more of this supposed chemical addiction to each other? And then when somebody doesn't give enough, then all that shit falls apart. And Now the war begins. So women like the cages. Over to the cage cells, attaboy. But think about it. Once the dopamine wears off, now the war starts. No slang punani without being a douche. Jason Reed from Colorado says, I own 2 to 3 on the trees growing up. Attaboy. He knows what I'm talking about. Typically pickup trucks. Even Jesus couldn't save the 304s. What makes you think you can? Attaboy. He told the prostitute, go and sin no more. You're not happy. The blue pill dream is insanity. Red pill is waking to the truth. JR. To quote another, get your lockout skill down. Give them nothing. Well said. Slam says men are the real romantics. Good to see you, brother. You're right. Quantum Leap Days. I only like the theme to the show. There you go. You guys are talking about men are the real men are the issue with a lot of this romance crap. I think men can do that. They can play in those emotions much more than any woman can. And that's why men get burned. Remember, once the dopamine wears off, once that first 3 weeks of butterflies wears off, the fights begin because you're trying to compete for equal, if not more, of who's giving more love or less love, more attention or less attention. Relationships don't work because someone is always behind. Someone is behind in the game. Bad guy for life. You hear the world from now on, no more Mr. Good Guy. Attaboy, Chucky. I was just talking about Chucky, brother. Good to see you. True love is a blue pill fever dream. Absolutely. Arvero in the house. Good to see you. Peace, quiet, and freedom. The X is a new hubby, so we're just working on get the girls raised. Let the new hubby experience the wrath. Men are the only ones capable of true compassion. I agree with that statement. And true sacrifice, really. Women move on so quickly because they are all about themselves and they have an ocean of simps. Their mind is set up differently, that's for sure. No reason for women not to put out in a marriage. That's like not paying for your house mortgage. Yeah, sex is the mortgage of a marriage. There you go. And most are foreclosed on. There's no such thing as love or unconditional love, correct? I think they're just strong chemicals and bonds and attachment one would feel that you could label love. I mean, I love my parents. Does that mean I just associate a strong bond and attachment to them in 4 letters? LOVE. But she's different and she loved me. She's not like the other girls. Please love me. What's love like for the 2%? I think love is a respect and a really a caring position, a sacrificial position of your well-being, or in Spanish, bienestar, for the other person, that you're willing to give everything because you want to. That, to me, would be the definition. Timothy, red pill, Nick pure blood, the good man is gone and ain't coming back. When you look in the mirror, I think these words, it's later than you thought. True, Rusty, true. Let go of anything you can't control. If a lady comes in your life, just enjoy your turn and make yourself happy. That's it. She's not yours. It's just your turn. Enjoy the minute. Don't live in the next minute. Whatever you do not put any sort of dopamine or label from an emotion or feeling that you feel into anything. Just enjoy it. Just be, hey, it's great now. 1 second later, it could be gone. I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'll be happy. Women will maybe have love for their kids and pets, but nothing for a man unless he's got a lot of bread. Well, as they say, women love men's wallets. Even sexual harassment is fake. It's just some made-up words to intimidate men and give these females an excuse. Sure. Well said, Jerome Markel. I am not like other women. We have something special. We love each other. Live for the moment, says Arvero. Well said. When a woman says she's leaving you, she's already gone. She's moved on to the next simp. That is truth. Does anyone have female friends? I have 3. I've got a couple of acquaintances. I listen to them when they talk to me. You show a man love by showing him respect. It's quite simple, yet another easy thing that modern women just can't fathom or understand. Can't claim ignorance either, as that has been a thing forever. That right there is pure gold, Father. I've never done this before. I've never been in love with you, with anybody but you. You make my heart swell. Labor Day is not just another day to get drunk. It celebrates the working man, the working sacrifice. JR, don't fall for her words, only her actions. Never believe what a woman says and less than half of what they do. Men initially view females as tender, vulnerable flower petals, then we get bitch slapped by a dose of cold reality. T-Tox in the house, well said. Cemetery prayer, eternal rest, bookshelf. Grant unto them, O Lord, the perpetual light shine upon them through the mercy of God. May their souls and the souls of all faithful departed rest in peace. Appreciate that. Barbecue pork chops and broccoli. Pork chops and applesauce with the ocean 70 yards away. Oh, yeah, Timmy sent me a picture of some simp proposing to his lady. I bet he got on his knees, Timmy, and he goes, let's call her Tiffany. Tiffany, I love you. Will you please marry me? Simping ain't easy, guys. And thus proving the point. AWOLT. Let him be AWOL. That's not going to change us. We just accept it. Women I talked to are my sister-in-law, my best friends. Well, my mom was in the house last night. My sister was there too. I'm going to see my other sisters tomorrow. They're friends. And, I'm around women a lot. I just know how to deal with them, which is don't give them much. Don't really talk to them unless they talk to you. I almost have a sugar girl, but she initiated the conversation and she sends me Venmo and PayPal. Attaboy, flip the script. Drizzle. I am only responsible for myself and my son. Don't believe the hype when she touches your schlong. We all are up in the same, so enjoy the ride. Well said, Brother Slam. If a woman is truly into you, she won't let your conversation go into the ditch. She will do everything if she's into you, X-Mask. For the most part, a man's marriage is the best only in the beginning from 18 months to 2 years, then you experience the switch bait. I think our relationship could go like that. I think the new relationships are probably 6 to 12 months, if not less. Broccoli, beef, rice, and sweet and sour pork. Okay? And tonight we'll watch Netflix. Yeah, Jimmy he sends me, when I'm fasting right now, and he sends me those doggone pictures, it makes me want to eat. I didn't get B-slapped, unfortunately. I got left hooked by Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, Iron Mike. Mike Tyson punch out. Do you think your sons could be bamboozled by women? I think so. I'm trying to teach them not to. I'd rather die than get on my knees for the fair sex again. I think all of us have realized that those that come and listen and really truly have digested the red pill. See, you can take the red pill. That's okay, but you have to digest it. You have to poop it out. It's as simple as that. It's got to go through your system. Most guys that go to the red pill typically go back to the plantation because they don't digest it. They don't accept it truly. Enjoy your bears, ladies. I'm just a bear. Women are just like cars. The body may be good, but check the mileage. Check the oil is what we say, Timothy. Somebody save the bears. How stupid is that? They would rather be with, talk about delusion. Really? Who's going to get in a cage with the tiger? Not me. Or a goddamn Wolverine. When I was a simp, I was talking with 10 girls. This way too much. I can deal with 5. Simping ain't easy. I bet you got ladies all on the side, Jerron. You're the Chad of Brooklyn. Have you really tried to sit down with your baby brother about, yes, he doesn't listen. He's got bad ADHD. You can't fix stupid. In the end, guys, I don't care who it is. Could be your kid. You can't fix stupid. After 1 to 3 put out. Yeah, I mean, after 1 to 3, it's absolutely. Typically, it's not worth it. You know what you're getting. Somebody save the effing trees. These filters need to be banned. Literally, orcs think themselves nothing short of Miss World. Yeah. I mean, I think, again, the delusion. I mean, but you know what? Who cares? We just accept it. Women are women. We are men. How do we want to live our life? Go to a cemetery, walk around, and say to yourself, I have such and such time left. Let's just say on a natural scale. But God could take me out any second. A natural disaster could take me out. I could drop dead tomorrow of a, brain aneurysm. But if you think to yourself that you have the potential to be even better than you are today, take it and look for ways to have peace, quiet, and freedom. That's all it is. My whole channel is all about being free of stress, free of debt, emotional debt, which is marriage, cohabitation, toxic kids, toxic relationships. It's free of educational bamboozlement. It's free of government brainwashing, societal brainwashing. Bears eat, carry on, the stink draws them in. There you go. Some women age very gracefully, but she can't hide that old lady voice. I know, they all have that voice later in life. Is it because the testosterone or the estrogen goes away? There are so many things to do for a man if he is able to handle his resources well. So many books to read, skills to learn, places to visit, as long as he is healthy. But if he'll waste it chasing these women. Again, men that are showing men how to game women and chase women, that's not a purpose in life. I think this year of 2024, I've increased your content. You have increased. Oh, yeah. I think I've done more this year, especially live streams. Jason says it's true. You can't fix stupid. There's way too much stupid out there today. That. Actually, we should say you can't fix retardation. The delusional with women is too strong, especially with this generation of dating. Not a great time to get married either. Now, not recommended. Not recommended. Yep, Seraphim tomorrow. In fact, I talked to John this week, and we're going to go over toxic children because I have some, and many other creators have some, and many others in this chat have not spoken to their kids. But what's peace, quiet, and freedom? That removes toxic kids. That removes toxic family members, toxic friends, toxic bosses. That puts you, look, it makes you aware of what government has done to you and who you want. They want to have you slave the system. They want you in debt. They want you to pay taxes. And they want you to collect 2 months on your Social Security and then drop dead. Because all your life you sought, you followed a life of programming, which didn't include peace, quiet, and freedom. See, we got the magic pill here. We got the magic power. I choose a box of dry barn matches over a female. They are much more useful. You can cook. You can build things. You can use that fire to melt glass, to burn, to be baptized by fire, so to speak, to get rid of shit. Fire is the most amazing invention of all. Going to Cleveland Cemetery tomorrow with sons tomorrow. There you go, brother. Teach them about how to live their best life. What are those guys that are in the graves? Do some wish that they could have relived their life? I'm sure many have not wanted to. I'm sure many sacrificed to the day they died over a woman, disrespected, living a life of quiet desperation. Many men in this chat and other chats and other channels can go straight back to that plantation if they want to make it, try to work it again. But I'm going to guarantee you this, the odds of you getting peace, quiet, and freedom with a woman in a marriage or a cohabitation or a baby mama is about 0.1 are your odds. My parents get along very well. They went through a very hard time, Mysterio, for several years, even growing up. But I think that they respected one another and they valued the sanctity of marriage. And they didn't like each other for a long time. It's difficult raising 6 kids in the 80s. You guys, high interest, high unemployment. It was tough. We had to go through the 80s to get to the technology stage. Pay your taxes and suffer in silence. There you go. Think about this. Electricity is fire. If you really think about it, at the end of the day, it's power. Fire is power. So really, fire got to a point where, if you hit electricity at the wrong time, it'll spark, right? Which is basically sparks or fire. Fire is just more consistent. A flame is a more consistent spark. But a spark is fire, and electricity would be considered basically a spark, which is fire. That's the greatest invention ever because it invented the refrigerator. It invented the vehicle battery. It invented all sorts of things. Computer is based on electricity, which is based on a spark. And it's burning in a coal plant somewhere. Thanks, Seraphin. Mysterio, I look at you, Rad. I feel so much younger without the marriage thing, although I've never married. Well, those that have never married at our age, I think that they've seen so much of it, but there's also a curiosity of it. And I don't think that's a wrong thing to have. The curiosity will lead to a fantasy, right? If you're curious, it's kind of an you think about it. Wow, what would it be like? More of a fantasy, more of a dream state. But the reality is much different. I've done a lot this year and I do it because I do small videos, Jerome, but I think these forums allow us all to really engage and have perspective. My boss bought a food bank that went up in flames. I'm part of the crew cleaning up tons of food bank. Jeez. I'm glad there's safety there, Arbaro. My last 3 exes have had problems that no woman would have with me. Yeah. AWOL. You can make a fire with a magnifying glass and sun, and fire and ice. Yeah, well said. That's unfortunate in that situation of that fire. Yes, it is. I do not think women ever loved me to begin with. They were always after the top 10 to 15% because of scarcity forced to put up with the average man. Well, 11% of men worldwide are over 6 foot tall. That means, let's just say 90% of women are competing for 11% of the guys. What delusion is that? The cemetery is overflowing each day. I'm glad I woke up from the fantasy mind of an idealistic girlfriend, wife, make that red pill for life. You got a superpower, bad guy for life. It really, truly is. If you truly digest it and accept it, you have to accept that women are like that. She is not yours. It's just your turn. You have to accept dopamine and serotonin, vasopressin, and oxytocin will wear off. That screwing the same chick over and over for the next 10 years is going to get boring. We are men. Marriage creates familiarity, and familiarity breeds contempt. Oh, but that's just how you think, Rad. That's just how you think. No, that's what I see. That's what I've been through. That is what reality is. I do not believe men and women, and I used to believe differently, that monogamy could be a thing. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. I believe it's too difficult. We are too wired testosterone-ish to want to spread our seed to as many fertile young ladies as possible that are over the age of 18. We have an internal directive from our DNA that says, spread your seed to extend humanity. We're animals without emotions. Well, we're animals with emotions and more thinking brains. That's it. Oh, Klaus Schwab. You will own nothing and be happy. That is the plan. I am Klaus Schwab. Invisible scars. Invisible scars. Everyone's got them. To put it in the easiest way possible, it was painful to tell her we are done after betrayal was laid bare at my feet, especially with the child in the middle. You knew you would heal, and you accepted that, right? We're all survivors. We're all survivors. We can talk about it all day long, marriage and everything, but at the end of the day, the theme is still similar. It's the marriage will, or it's the fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, live-in girlfriend meal. It just doesn't work. T-Tox, I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready to sit back with my arms crossed and watch society consume itself. And we are in the perfect time in the next 70 days to see just exactly that. I told my boys, I go, you are, guys, it's my youngest is his first election he gets to vote. It's my son's second. I said, this is the most important election and you get a vote in it. Think about that. How would the rad time machine work? Mysterio 1 would be only going back to March 1171. Ooh. My daughter's a Barter's birthday. Most men are just one BJ away from the plantation. I don't know what it would look like. I think I would go back to 96, but it would also be programmed to go back to the Viking stages, the 50s as well with James Dean, the 40s and 50s. I'd also like to go back to like the Civil War time and maybe the like 1100, 1200. Would that be considered medieval? Timothy Schwab has a God complex. I still think he's a pawn, though. For men today, spreading your seed can be the most dangerous thing you can do. Ooh, that right there is pure gold. Absolutely. Absolutely. You just even spreading your seed anywhere, in any country, with any woman, could literally end. That could get you into an early grave. And it's happened. Multiple of these passport bros, they end up 6 feet under. Why? They wanted the love and validation of a woman in a foreign country. And all that woman wanted was his money. And so she sent her cousins, and her brothers, and her ex-husband, and her husband to rohypnol him and to strip him of all of his resources. Happens. All for the love of punani. Delusion by design. I like that, Jerome Markel. Could be financial. That could be financial self-deletion, emotional self-deletion. I know guys that are going through, you read all of these women have regrets, and the comments are just filled to the brim. Thousands of men saying, I've been married 23 years. She came home unhappy, took everything. Now she's miserable. I want nothing to do with her. You know, she's not yours. It's just your turn, and so forth. So that is the reality, folks. Folks, peace, quiet, and freedom. Go to a graveyard. Remove everything that does not contribute to peace, quiet, and freedom. Get out of debt. Get rid of shit that you don't need. Live nomadically or minimalistically as much as possible so you have the experience and freedom to do what the hell you want. Seraphim, you're absolutely right. They have no idea that female nature is completely universal. And female nature is female nature. Female brains are all similar. More to life than just survival, I believe that she is at. We're lucky today. We can experience lots of things. I would love to see the best of the different empires. Ooh, time traveling. That'd be fun. The acceptance of camel heels up and tampon Tim is legit tells me all I need to. It's worse than Idiocracy. It makes Idiocracy look like a Clark Gable novel. The Biden imports are wreaking havoc in America. Be on guard. Yes, they are. Do women lose sex appeal as they age? Most of them. I'm not thirsty enough to blow a ton of money just to be with the foreign women. It's the same. You have to charm them, give them attention, pay for everything, and for potentially getting rejected. Why would you do that? It's a waste of time. Studies have shown Gen Z males are becoming more conservapop. It's the Gen Z girls. Yes. They have said that the majority of males are seeing the delusion of these women on their phones, the young girls too, in high school, junior high, and they're all going with that blonde butterface singer who's traveling the world, and that she's massively Skittles aware and loves Skittles, and that's the issue. Hive mind, brothers and sisters. Timothy, women age like milk, Arvero, cheese curds. My mom and dad used to go to Tillamook Cheese Factory, and they'd bring us kids back cheese curds. I don't know if you ever had them, but they get old after a while. Timmy says, Hawk to a Kramer in Scottsdale this weekend. Bar paid her 100 grand. Oh, I think I saw that. Was it this weekend or last weekend? There's a deal where she's there's a picture of her or a video of her or something. What is the deal with that? Who is paying to see that crap? It's nuts. All right, guys, it's been a great stream. I am going to chill out. We will see you at Scotty's in the next 54 minutes. And hopefully tomorrow we're going to have a good show with Gone with John at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Mountain, 10 o'clock Central AM. I buy milk in cans. There you go. Dumb simps would pick meeting for their soulmate over blank can't fix stupid. Peace out, you guys. You guys were great. Appreciate all the comments. Remember, we have a lot of life left. Let's keep it real. Try to live a life of peace, quiet, and freedom. Rebel against defeat. Chase excellence. Masculine men first. I'm out. See you guys later.